has always for me been a poetic time. The blaze of colour in the trees spells death for leaves born, lush and green mere months earlier, but death with the sure promise of rebirth after winter. On 14 Island Lake, the woods enfold an old shed that has stood decades on this land, and the home my parents built next to it, a place we call Tuktawai. When Marcia and I started our own family west of Toronto, Tuktawai and its beautiful views of 14 Island Lake became at best an annual reunion site. But in 2020, its little harbour, sheltered by a part-time island, and my parents' canoe, drew us back onto the lake as a pandemic cancelled my Sunday church responsibilities and Marcia was free of her work every second weekend. 14 Island Lake is at the southern tip of the Frontenac axis, a piece of Canadian shield thrust deep into southern Ontario, just north of my hometown of Kingston. The lake is ringed with cottages and rural roads, filled with fish and waterfowl, attended by wildlife and humanity, and embraced by the mix of rocky, deciduous and coniferous woods unique to this part of our province. Tuktawai sits at the midpoint of the lake, which lies mainly east-west, about 4 kilometers east of the village of Verona. Marcia and I took 2 canoe trips, first to the east end, which you're seeing now, and 2 weeks later to the west. I wanted to capture the lake's natural landscape rather than its many cottages and other abundant evidence of people like us. But it is hard to exclude these features entirely, especially an old boathouse at the extreme east end. Soon after, a deer lunched on the nearby shore. Lakes like this one reward the canoeist with constantly changing shoreline, water colored with a million shades of blue, gray, and green, and beautiful reflections. Its many straights and bends conceal and then reveal each step of the journey, including, of course, the islands and their inhabitants. If you locate 14 Island Lake on Google Maps and try to count the islands, you probably won't reach 14. Many are rather small, and some disappear and reappear depending on water level. But from the canoe, where you can come close and even glimpse those that have slipped below high water, it's a different story. A couple like Seacord's Island here have been named by persons unknown, who have posted helpful signs visible only from the water. Some of the islands have cottages and other structures built on them, but most do not, devoting their surfaces instead to what often seems like far too many trees for the available soil. In this category, further toward the west end of the lake, lies Beatty's Island, with its striking and precarious-looking eagle's nest, confirming for all who would look upon or care to visit who rules the roost here. As we near the west end of the lake, we pass a couple more islands and continue to see striking shore features. We will soon be turning back to return to Tuktawai, but as we explore, we see quiet coves off the main body of the lake. Rare rock falls that indicate some kind of erosion by centuries of weather, and occasionally the splash of color that fallen dead fir trees sometimes offer the calm surface and its reflection. As we head for home, we're rewarded for our hours paddling by a close encounter with a trio of loons. Like all life on the lake, they play an important role in their ecosystem. But this species also plays a vital role in the soul of our country, and its call reaches deep into my own memories. We take the canoe through one of the many lily fields that lie around the edge of the lake. As we heave the slowed canoe past insects and frogs, the odd treasure among treasures, the lily flowers, smile. Our last destination on the lake is an island across from Tuktawai, part of the cottage lot on the shore, and connected to it by a small footbridge. It boasts a blazing red maple shouting out against the sea of August green. The first and last of the 14 islands on our trip is that enclosing Tuktawai's little harbor. Returning here this year has felt like a haven from the winds of this unusual season, and we are so grateful for my mother's vision that acquired and built on this land, and for the rebirth it was able to give us.